Mason Robinson. I'm a 2023 graduate at Altamont High School. First time I picked up a baseball bat, I was probably in T-ball at here just for community ball in Altamont. But if we're counting Diet Coke bottles, I was carrying those around since I was three-ish. So I started pitching again in like T-ball and first year that you could actually pitch, but I started taking pitching more seriously once I became a freshman in high school. I realized that Coach Witt couldn't use a couple more pitchers that, and maybe I could fill a role as a guy he could trust to go throw strikes and get outs in not necessarily crunch time innings. So I started picking up a basketball about the same age. I played Lions Club all throughout the years that I could, but my grandma always had those little Tykes hoops and stuff, so I probably was playing with those too.
When did you realize you could be a multi-sport athlete?
Really in junior high when I started playing school ball. I went to school at ALIS, and actually at that time I had the privilege that I could play basketball when I was in fourth grade, and then I picked up baseball again in fifth grade, and I loved them both, so I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this every year. So I kept playing both sports, and it just carried throughout. Success I had for baseball. The big 2 years that I had were my seventh and eighth grade year. My seventh grade year was I had the team. I had the privilege to play with like Tyler Robbins and those guys, and we ended up making it to the regional championship. We ended up losing that game, but then my eighth grade year, kind of same story. Played in the regional championship, ended up losing in a extra innings game. But it was just more success as in the little wins of developing as a player, also falling in love with the game. Junior high success for basketball, again, seventh and eighth grade year. Actually, my sixth, seventh, and eighth grade year. My sixth grade year, we played in the regional championship. We did lose that game, but then my seventh grade year started the kind of run of ALIS because that was the year that, uh, like I said, Tyler Robbins, his eighth grade year, uh, that team ended up getting fourth in state. And then the year after that, my eighth grade year, we ended up getting, I want to say seventh in state. So, and then the classes under me just kept rolling with it. So, but my success for junior high basketball was definitely my seventh and eighth grade years when we got to go to state. Starting in high school, I started my freshman year getting some innings, catching Noah Teasley. That was kind of my main role, being a backup catcher for the most part. But then eventually Noah had a little bit of an arm issue, so I started getting into the starting lineup a little bit more, mainly catching and being DH'd for. But that was when I really kind of found myself solid a little bit in the lineup. And then my sophomore year, that was when I just started to start every game. Basketball, my freshman year, I wasn't even on the varsity roster. And then my sophomore year started to see the court a little bit in the varsity games, but then my junior year was the year that I started every game.
So where do you credit your athleticism to?
My athleticism actually probably came from my mom's side. All of her brothers, my size is from my mom's side, I should say. All of her brothers are at least 6 foot, and she's got a couple sisters that are 5'11" and 6 foot. So my size probably comes from my mom, but my dad was an athlete, my mom was an athlete, so it's just kind of a mix of both where I get my athleticism from. Iconic is, I'd say, is just the kind of the longevity of my career. Um, like I said, I was seeing the field when I was a freshman and was playing a lot. So I don't. I'd probably say that's what makes me the most iconic. Just that I've been playing since I was a freshman, and my name has been out there a little bit, and then everything else just kind of followed suit. My favorite sport is baseball, hands down. I love basketball, and I love being on the court, and I love just the speed of the game. But baseball to me is just I've always had a love and a passion for it. So baseball is just my favorite sport. Uh, Coach Witt has pushed me to be the player that I am today. Uh, Ever since I told him when I was a freshman that I wanted to become a collegiate athlete, he straight up told me, he said, "That's fine and I can help you get there, but you got to put in the work and I'm going to push you to your limits." So it's just one of those things that I don't know if I'd be the player that I am today without him, but just like any other coach, we have our we have our moments where we don't necessarily see eye to eye, but we're pretty good about talking it out with each other and trying to understand what the other one says. But he means a lot to me. Coach Nieberge, he just he taught me a lot of things about myself that I wouldn't have necessarily known. Through basketball, he taught me a lot of discipline. He taught me a lot of leadership. Taught me a lot of the mental side of both of my sports. Basically, just how to control my emotions and things like that. But Coach Nieberge, he led us to a sectional title game this year, and I don't know if we would be in that game without him. So he means a lot to me, and I know he means a lot to our other players as well.
When did you realize this team for basketball for this year could be one of the special teams that come through the program?
Uh, we played a game here against Newton that we ended up losing, but that next morning we had a Saturday practice and we all got in and we all just worked and worked for 2 hours, and then we all went and hung out together. And so it was just one of those things that you could see it. You could see the drive and the love for the game out of all of us, but then we got together like brothers and we just felt like we talked about it when we got back together. We were like, we want to do something here, and we just all decided it was time to just put our heads down and work for it. For basketball, uh, we decided as a group that we wanted to be the best team that has run through Altamont pretty early. So we put our heads down and we worked, and we obviously wanted to make it to the state tournament. Every team does, but we wanted to break school records and we wanted to win like the Cesar Valier Holiday Tournament. Nieberge hasn't won that yet. We wanted to win that. We wanted to win our regional. That's one of our three main goals: win the regional, win the NTC regular season, and win the NTC tournament. So those were our main three goals. But then once we got through the regional, we were like, all right, one more game. Let's go win another game. So that KZ Westfield game was a wild one, but our main goal was to just go further than anybody ever had, and we'll just win as many ball games as we could as a group. For baseball, uh, go win a state title. We've won our sectional a couple times. We've gotten to the super sectional game, but we've never won that game. So that's a big goal for us: get to that super sectional game and win it. But then also just go win a state title. I believe we have a very, very, very special group of players that are all very determined to win. So that's one of our main goals is to get back to the super sectional game and win that.
The game everyone will talk about for a lifetime, the KZ game.
Yeah.
What was your emotions like in that moment?
Uh, Going into that game, there were obviously nerves, just because that's the way basketball is. There's always nerves, but you get on the court, you're locked in, and then first half. They come out and they get on a big run on us. So it's just that feeling of we're down, but we've done this 20 times already this year. So we all got together, we all locked it back down together and told each other that we got this, we got to have confidence. We'll start hitting shots, we'll start getting stops, and just trying to get back level headed after getting down so early.
Down 20, the environment you played in and making the comeback, that's pretty hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, that environment is, I mean, our gym is loud anyway. It's very loud, very echoey. But it was to the point that I wear an Apple Watch everywhere I go. And I went down into the locker room after the game, and my watch had told me that it was too loud. It had the notification on it that was saying, like, way too loud, turn the music down, whatever. And so it was just one of those things that it's like, that's the way it is. It got loud. Everyone started backing us. We started making a run a little bit. So everything just kind of started to settle into place again. And we kept working as a group, as a one unit. We were working and ended up pulling it out. Trust in each other, myself and my teammates. People talk about, like, I get told, they're like, yeah, you had 28 points that game. You led the way. Like, but that's not the focus when I'm on the court. The focus is making the right read, making the right decision, and trusting in my teammates that if I get shut off, I got to be able to give the ball up to Avery to go hit a corner three, or Jared to go get a layup just off the dribble or whatever. Because in the first half, I wasn't really hitting shots that I felt like I should have. I was taking some bad shots, but I had trust in my teammates that they were going to help pick me up. And then down the stretch, I started feeling it a little bit, and they trusted me enough to get the ball back to me as much as we could. So it was just a lot of trust in my teammates as well as they had trust in me. So it was just a very, very, very big time team effort.
What was it like going up against KZ stud Jackson Parcell? That guy could not miss a shot that night.
No, Jackson's a really good player. I mean, you can't give him a foot of room. He hit a shot right in front of Logan Cornett at the beginning of the game. I just told myself, I said, all right, if this is the game he's gonna have, we're gonna have to adjust off of it. We made a couple decisions as a player group to tell Logan, hey, you just gotta face guard him. We'll take care of the rest. So he takes that stuff to heart. When we tell him that we need you to step up and just face guard the best player, he takes that and he runs with it, and couldn't have won that game without him or Eli Miller coming in off the bench and shutting down some of their other guards, hassling them, making them really work to get it up the court. So it's just the defensive effort from those two guys really helped pave the way for us to go on our big run.
The emotions of even being in a sectional title for the first time in school history for Altamont, what was that like for you?
At that point, honestly, before the game, nerves are gone. There's no reason to have them anymore. It's just basketball. You know you've done something that no other team has ever done at Altamont. So it was just one of those things that was like, all right, just go out, have fun, play ball, enjoy the game with your brothers and your teammates one last, or what turned out to be one last time. but having the confidence and the focus to be like, we're going to go win this game. Um, just one of those things that basketball is funny, how you could be so nervous going into one game and then the next game you're like, been here, done that a little bit. So, but I credit that a lot to my teammates we always tried to keep it light in the locker room. We always had music playing. We were always having fun. So we had a brotherhood, and I consider those guys my brothers.
What were your emotions like for overtime against Tuscola? As a senior, that was pretty big deal.
Yeah. After the first overtime, I told coach, I was like, I'm gonna play until my legs fall off. I'm gonna give you all I got. And at one point, my leg did cramp up, and I felt like I couldn't walk. But I got to the bench, got some water, got back out there, and kept playing. And then, after the game, there's Alex Wallner got a picture of me on the sideline where I'm like doubled over, just kind of sitting, realizing that it's actually over. And I wasn't necessarily upset that we lost, just because the best thing about playing is you either win or you lose. If someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. I was upset because that was the last dance with my teammates and with my brothers. Um, I wouldn't have been there without them, and I'm definitely gonna miss being on the court.
Favorite high school baseball game to be a part of?
Uh, it don't get much better than middle of October when it's freezing cold on a Saturday night, and Altamont and St. Anthony are going at it for the NTC championship game. Uh, that's that's one of the games that you always dreamed of playing in. Uh, and once you do get there, it's the moment definitely overwhelms you for a minute, but you just lock it back in and start playing ball again. Basketball, the somewhat obvious answer that most people would think of would be the Casey Westfield game, but actually earlier that season we played North Clay at home, and at the time we were both ranked like top 7 in the state. So that game was electric going in, seeing I was trying to walk in and I had to walk through a line of people to get to the front door to try to just walk into the school. So it was definitely a packed house. It was loud. It was fun. Conference rivals going at it. So that was another crazy game to be a part of.
What are some of the toughest obstacles that you face being a leader?
Toughest obstacle I faced is myself. Trying to control my emotions when I'm not having a great game, not having a game that I think I should have, but having to keep my emotions level and even keel that way. My teammates still have confidence, and I can help ensure confidence into them. That way, we can hopefully pull out wins and keep everything positive, even though I may not be having a best game. Most notable players that I played against in basketball, I've obviously like Austin Whitberg, he's going to college to play. Jackson Parcell, he's going to college to play. I'm sure Jordan Quinn's going to go somewhere to play basketball. But just Brock Fearday's on his way up. He's playing really good. Some of the other guys, played against some of the when St. Anthony had some of their big dogs in, like Jacob. I was around when Jacob Dust was playing. Again. I was on the team when some of those guys were playing, so I've had the privilege of playing some really good opponents. And then obviously North Clay, Logan Fleener, can't forget him. Notable players I played against for baseball. Just going down some of the NTC schools for seniors now. Eli Levitt, Austin, Jordan Wittenberg, those guys. Will Haney, he's another St. Anthony bat. Aiden Dodson down at South Central. Logan at North Clay. Going a little bit younger than me, Brock Fearday. He's a really good baseball player. South Central's got another couple pretty good bats underneath. North Clay, the Zemdars kid, he's going to be really good here in a couple years. And then going up older than me, uh, faced Gavin Broniker in my first year for the NCC title game. Faced Gavin Wernsing for 3 of the 4 years that I've been playing. Faced Chase Dodson, Bo Jolliffe, those guys. I've gotten the privilege to play a lot of really good talent. Favorite fields to play on? I like going down to Kim Monday and playing there. They've got that older outfield wall that's just straight wood. That's unique for around here. Going to St. Anthony, playing at Paul Smith and Evergreen Hollow. Out of the two, I'd say I probably like Paul Smith a little bit more. But playing there is always fun. Windsor Sioux Straws has the field that's got all grass everywhere except for right around the base paths. That's another unique thing. So there's a lot of fields that I enjoy playing on that have their own features that make them unique to me. Some of the best courts I've played on, going down to Casey Westfield, that's a really good gym to play in. Obviously played in the Enlow Center. That's really fun. Some of my freshman and sophomore years, I got the chance to play down in T-Town. Played in that gym. That's really, really historic gym, if you don't mind getting outrageously sweaty. Going down and playing at North Clay, they've redone their court, and it's really nice now, and so has Neoga. So those are some of my favorite courts to play on.
What made you decide on for Kaskaskia for baseball?
Kaskaskia to me just felt like another home away from home. I'm close enough to home where I can come home if I really need to, but also I'm far enough away that I'm on my own. I'm independent. I feel like I can be me. I really like Coach Custer. He and I have very, very, very similar play styles, so I think we're gonna mesh well. And then I like that it's not necessarily a huge college. I like that it's more if you're going there, you're probably an athlete. You're probably doing something with the college instead of you're going there for strictly school. So I like that there will be more athletes around everywhere.
When did you realize you had what it took to play college baseball?
Um, Back in junior high, I always was pretty good. Probably was when I realized that I could maybe do something with this if I worked hard enough for it. And then my freshman year, I went up to Coach Witt and I was like, "Hey, I think I want to become a college athlete." And he goes, "That's fine." He said, "But I'm going to push you to your limits every day, and I'm going to be tougher on you than I am on everybody else." I told him, "That's fine. I'm willing to do that, and I'm willing to put in the work." So really from junior high was when I realized that, hey, I can make something out of this.
When did you decide you for sure wanted to play college baseball?
Really after my sophomore year. I played pretty well my sophomore year and thought, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting a little bit faster. So I was like, okay, now it's time. I either got to really dig my heels in and go with it, or I got to really back off. So that was really the point where I was like, let's do it, let's run.
There may not be a better conference in the state of Illinois than the National Trail Conference. We have 5 teams in the state ranked top 13. And you guys are obviously number 7 in the state. But
Yep.
we could have anybody in the NTC win anything, okay?
For sure.
What's it been like competing against some of the best in our area, but also in the state?
There's 2 ways to look at it, in my opinion. You've got it's another day in the office, or there's oh my gosh, we're playing the number 2 ranked team in the state, or the number 1 ranked team, actually, St. Anthony is. So for me, I try to look at every game the same. Like, every team's the number 1 team in the state, but in the back of your mind, you definitely know, like, hey, this is a really, really talented conference. We've got some of the best baseball in the state around here. So it's just kind of, there's both aspects of it. playing in, but I try to look at every game the same. My biggest role model is my dad. He obviously raised me to the person I am today. He taught me a lot of discipline as well as how to find something that you love and just keep loving it and keep working at it because it's never going to get boring for you. So that's definitely, I mean, two of the big things that he taught me. But, I mean, obviously he's taught me so much more than just those two things.
What's it been like to have your dad, Matt Robinson, broadcasting your games on the baseball field or on the basketball court as a player, but your dad as a father?
Um, it's one of those things that I definitely don't take for granted. I mean, he gets the luxury of coming and watching me play, but also do something that he loves to do at the same time. So it's one of those things that's just like, yeah, he's a broadcaster, and he does a really really good job of making sure nobody that wouldn't already know that I'm his kid, that he tries to make sure that they don't realize that I'm his kid. So it's but then you go home and we're talking about the game, and he knows play by play exactly what happened, and he's got the book sitting there right in front of him that he can just tell me. So it's just one of those things that's super neat and something that I will never take for granted. Sport for my family has been just hands down incredible. Um, from my sophomore year and me deciding that, hey, I really do want to go play college. I do want to go play college baseball. Uh, it's just they jumped on the train with me and we all started rolling together. Uh, Dad was obviously helping with more of the understanding the game aspect of things, but then my mom and my sister both like have helped teach me some things about the more nutrition side of keeping me in shape, but getting me enough protein and calories and things like that that I need. That way I'm staying in shape and also staying healthy while I can go to practice, go lift, go to practice again, go to school all day. So everyone's on board with it, and everyone I couldn't ask for a better support group.
What type of a legacy do you think you've made through the Indians program?
Uh, Really, the main thing that I wanted to leave here at Altamont was that you can do things as long as you just work for them. You can go play college basketball. You can go play college baseball. You can do whatever you put your mind to as long as you work for it. I was once that kid. I was looking up to Garrett Ziegler, actually. I looked up to Garrett Ziegler when I was younger, and now I just want to be that kid that I understand that I'm in the spotlight, but I want to be there still that way. If you are a younger kid, you want to come up and talk to me, I'm not going to brush you off. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to ask you about how your games are. I have a couple kids that have my Snapchat that they'll talk to me about games that they've had recently or how they're playing. I try to go to some of those, and I want people to realize that you can be the star, but you can also be that kid that everyone wants to look up to at the same time. The saying is, it takes a village to raise a kid, and Altamont has been that village for me, and I can't thank them enough for always being out there to support every game, whether it be baseball, basketball, going to soccer games, track meets, whatever it could be. So I really do appreciate all of that from the Altamont community and from Altamont High School itself. A lot of people may not know about me is that when I was really little, probably 3 years old maybe, my mom caught me drawing baseball plays. Don't ask me. Don't know what it is. Just it is what it is. Uh, she said she caught me using just a regular yellow notepad and just a pencil, and I was just scribbling away doing baseball plays. Like I said, don't know what it is, don't know what it is, don't have any proof of it, but that's something that most people probably don't know about me.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. We wish you the best of luck at Kaskaskia for baseball. Good luck the rest of your career.
Thank you very much, Tyler.
If you haven't already, go to my YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Also, on all the videos that I post, go like and comment on all that I post. Thank you so much for your great support. I appreciate all of you.